Welcome to Holy You. I'm your host, Tony Restrepo, and I'm so excited to have you join me for this episode. If you've been watching the past episodes, we've been talking about different things that help us to live our lives whole, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And this week, I'm really excited about what I have to share. So I'm going to begin by sharing with you my discovery on a topic that is very near and dear to all of us, and that's on nutrition. See, what's interesting about nutrition is that most times we are given the information on nutrition based on how it affects our physical bodies. So we are very well learned in how nutrition affects us, especially where it comes to weight loss. Today, I want to share with you on nutrition from a different aspect. I want to share with you what nutrition does to our brain or to your emotional health. So this week is going to be a little different information on how nutrition is affecting you emotionally. And this, I think, is really going to be some information that's really going to surprise you as well as help you to really begin to make better choices with your nutrition. Did you know that your brain is not immune to your nutritional defects? So that means all chemicals produced by the brain cells depend on nutrients taken into the body. This is really interesting to me and very important for us to begin to know and to understand. So that means that good nutrition promotes good bodily health. Yes, but good nutrition also promotes good emotional health. That means, on the contrary, however, that bad nutrition promotes bad health physically, and it will also promote bad emotional state. So it really is important that we begin to look at nutrition from a holistic view, not just from how it makes us look, right? We all want to look good. We all want to be slim. We all want, or want to be our optimum size. But how is your nutrition affecting you emotionally? How are your deficiencies in your nutrition affecting you overall? We know that the purpose of food is to give us the nutrients that we need in our body, the vitamins and the minerals that our bodies need to function. Not just our bodies, our brains as well. We need this nutrition to function optimally the way God created us to function. And so it is important for us to understand how our choices are affecting us, not just physically, but also emotionally and spiritually. So without further ado and belaboring the topic, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing with you some different deficiencies that can come from our lack of proper nutrition. The first deficiency I want to talk to you about is thiamine. It can change your behavior by giving you signs of neurotic symptoms like depression, insomnia, chest pain, chronic fatigue. People often with a thiamine deficiency consume large quantities of carbohydrates, often from junk food, and without maintaining the thiamine in their body to metabolize or burn those carbohydrates. So these are deficiencies, or these are the outcomes rather, of having a thiamine deficiency. Low folate. Low folate patients show signs of depression. They also display reduced work productivity. So sometimes people are calling you lazy. And really what that is there's a deficiency in your minerals that is causing you to feel tired, a lack of interest even, anxiety, loss of sex drive. These all can be related to a lack of nutrition, a nutritional deficiency in your life. A wide range of psychiatric symptoms have been associated to anemia as a disorder that results in B12 deficiency as well. So here we are going over all these different minerals and vitamins that we may not take separately, but are supposed to be in our food so that if we're eating properly, then we're getting the right nutrients and vitamins to now help us to function emotionally well. And when we don't, a lot of times we're having these emotional issues and we're not drawing two and two to realize that, oh wow, this is happening to me because I'm not getting the nutrients my body needs. Another deficiency you may be familiar with is iron, and it helps to form hemoglobin, which is a substance within your red blood cells that carries oxygen from the lungs into the rest of your body. And so when we don't have enough of it, the oxygen supplies to your tissue is reduced, and it causes apathy, tiredness, shortness of breath, and irritability. So this was really interesting to me because when I read that, I was thinking, oh wow, I might be low on iron, because sometimes you think, oh, I'm out of breath, I need to get my cardio up, or, I'm feeling really tired, I need to get more sleep. So I'm hoping that what I'm sharing with you today is going to begin to help you to understand that there's more than one reason why we can be feeling a certain way. And so it's time for us to really begin to investigate how we feel in a holistic view. And so lack of iron can make you feel that run down and always exhausted. Also, a lack of calcium, that shortness can cause you to be grouchy, irritable. It has tension disposition with depression, impairment of memory. Like, how many of us are constantly like, why can't I remember this? Why can't I remember that? And we feel like, oh, I got too much going on. I'm too busy. There's too much, on my mind. But really, is it that it's too much on your mind? Or could it be that you're not getting enough calcium? So these are the thoughts that I want to kind of generate in you today to begin to take a further look into how you are feeling, your emotional state. Lack of calcium as well can cause insomnia. Cramping in your calves. These are other signs that you may need more calcium in your diet. Magnesium is known for its calming effects, and some doctors frequently recommend it for anxiety, insomnia, and depression. According to the New School of Nutrition, the healthiest diet is one with whole grain breads, cereal, pastas, beans, fresh fruits, and vegetables. They are called complex carbohydrates because they are low in fat and in sodium, and high in important minerals and vitamins. So when we have a whole grain diet, or our diet consists of complex carbohydrates, like your sweet potatoes would be instead of white potatoes, or your wheat and whole grain breads, more so whole grain breads than a white bread. When we have this type of diet, we are more prone to getting the nutrients that we need. Of course, things being organic. When we talk about our food today and how much of the minerals is really taken out and the vitamins are taken out of the soil in which they are being grown, we understand that a lot of our foods are already lacking the minerals and the vitamins that we really need to receive from them. But how much more when we choose not to eat whole grain, and we choose not to eat the fruits and the vegetables that would help in that area. So even the more is our body going and lacking in the nutrients that it really needs. And so the problem with refined sugars, the opposite of our carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates that is that with the refined sugars and refined carbohydrates, like your smothered pancakes with all that great syrup on it, or your sweet cereals, your frosted cereals, so to speak, there's too much sugar in these products. And what happens is when there's too much sugar, that it gives you what we call a sugar rush. Well, the problem with the sugar rush is that once you get that initial sugar rush, the blood sugar levels soar so high, what happens is your pancreas now has to kick in with insulin to draw some of that sugar out of the body. And so what happens is you go up really quickly and then you come crashing down. And so that really is not good for our body to go up so quickly and crash right down. And so in addition to that, the end result is that you have this dip. So you ever feel like, oh yes, you have something, you eat it, it gives you the energy you need, and then the next thing you know, you want to go to sleep immediately. So it's important for us to understand that when you do complex carbohydrates, it doesn't give you the boost of that much sugar in your system, causing your pancreas to now have to overwork. In addition to that, you have your refined sugars and your refined carbohydrates are also been proven to be carcinogenic. That means they're cancer-causing foods. Okay, well, should we even name them food if they're causing cancer? Really? These are the things that we really have to begin to take more inventory on how we are feeding ourselves, because of the fact that we have to understand that whose responsibility is it going to be for me to really be healthy, for me to even live long, for me to really enjoy the quality of life, for my emotions to be filled with joy and happiness and peace. It's my responsibility, especially from understanding right now how my diet is affecting my emotional state. Who's feeding me? I'm feeding me. So then it means I'm responsible for how I'm feeling and how my body is responding by giving it the proper foods. When it comes to protein, it's a different story from your carbohydrates. Your carbohydrates will give you a quick rush of energy, a quick rush of sugar to your bloodstream. However, proteins will turn into sugar at a slower, steady rate. You'll feel better longer because your pancreas is not triggered to dampen the effect. That's my time for this week, but join me again next week as we discuss what happens when your blood sugar is on a downswing. Thank you again for watching. My name is Tony Restrepo, and remember to live whole, spirit, soul, and body. The new school of nutrition says that we should have a diet that is high in whole grains. That means we should be eating a diet that is concentrated in whole grains and cereals, pastas, beans, fresh fruits, and vegetables.